What's up everyone, my name is Annie Sienna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am here with a very special guest.
I'm Astrid.
And we've been friends for a very long time, so we thought it would be a great idea to record all of our stories in a couple of videos that I'm going to post over a couple of weeks. So this is the first of 4, and we're going to talk about some of our early friendship memories.
Yeah, like middle school memories.
Middle school memories, yeah. And she's a senior now.
And I'm about to graduate.
So in 2017, we went on a church camp trip with our youth group. And you were on the light green team, right?
Yes, lime green.
Yeah, the lime green. I was on the light blue team. And the light blue team girls, their cabin got fleas.
I thought you were in pink.
Well, no, we moved to pink.
Oh, and then the pink girls had to, okay.
Yeah, so that's, the pink girls hated us. I actually left my sheets and, all my belongings, in the light blue girl room when they were, spraying it with
so
pesticide.
You ended up with pesticide all over your blankets?
Yeah.
What did you sleep on for the rest of the...
Those blankets. Why are you still wearing your mask?
Oh. They had all the girls, they had a whole entire team that was just girls, because the color was pink. And everyone called them the pink girls because they were rude, they were mean.
There was a bunch of cheerleaders.
It was a bunch of cheerleaders. So it was basically, the pink girls, there was a lot of stuff. So the pink girls are important for the rest of the stories as well. So then after this camp, we jump to 2018. Yeah. I think, yeah. And 2018 was our first.
We didn't hang out much in middle school. We met each other in 6th grade, and then we kind of saw each other at events.
So we've technically known each other for since we were 11.
Yeah.
But then 6 years. But then we just decided to get closer in the last 4, I think.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know how that happened.
Right. Then we had a mission trip we went on.
In 2018.
In 2018, which was our first year of high school camp. But it was a middle school trip. It was a mission trip where we went to a home for disabled adults. And we volunteered and we hung out with them and we cooked with them and we played games with them and stuff. And we stayed in this 2-story house.
Yeah, it was a cabin.
But it was kind of it was 1 story and then there was a basement.
Yeah.
And so the ceilings were really low. So I've always been kind of tall.
Were you on my bed?
Was I?
I think because I slept right underneath the fan.
We were across from each other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we were across from each other and we would giggle hysterically in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Did the fan happen to you or did it happen to me?
It happened to you, but you were on my bed.
I was on your bed.
Yeah.
I hopped on your bed and I hopped on her bed and I was giggling my behind off and I had my head down in the blankets. And I sit up and I smack my head on the fan. And the fan's and then it slows down. And then it starts going again. And we're laughing so hard. And the thing is, it's late at night. So,
because at these every church event, we never go to bed at a reasonable time. It's always 1 a.m.
Yep. It's because of me. But it's never you.
It's never me. I'm the one who's go to bed!
Yeah.
Shut up!
And the pink girls, it was 6 of them or something. 4 to 6 of them. And they had the coolest room in the whole place. Yeah. Weren't the beds situated in a circle or something like that?
Yeah.
There was a spiral staircase
that went to the room.
To their room.
They had their own separate bathroom, which was giant. They let me shower in it one time.
And they didn't let anybody come down there, except for Annie.
Because I was at one point friends with those girls. I'm not anymore, but I was at that point in time. That was kind of when I figured out they were toxic.
Because she went down there and they immediately started talking about how I was weird, didn't they? And then I think you left.
I left and I told you because I didn't really know what to do because at that point I was really shy.
Yeah, you were just
and I had been friends with those girls for 3 years at that point, so I was I didn't really want to say anything to them.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole situation where it was me and 2 other girls who were not involved, but there was the leaders called all the girls
All
into
of
the
the
one like
girls.
conference room.
Yep, where
And
we
they
did
were
conferences
like,
every morning.
y'all are like, I don't know exactly what happened, but they like called everybody out on like whatever drama was happening, and I wasn't involved, so I didn't get in trouble. But like everybody was there, and I was like, what did I do?
And we're gonna call this main girl like Heather or whatever. One of the leaders like called me up, and they were like, "Now we heard that stuff was happening." I'm like, "Oh, don't do that." Somebody went and told the leaders or whatever. And then I was like told to come up, and I was like, they were calling me weird and blah 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 blah. And then Heather comes up, and she's like, "We meant weird in a good way." And I had to hug her.
You know, I saw her the other day.
Really?
At a carnival, yeah. And her sister saw me and went, "Oh," and turned around and walked away. And I was like,
my gosh.
she talks trash about me
gosh.
too.
The guys at the mission trip were trying to play a prank on one of the leaders. And
yeah.
They got in so much trouble.
I don't even remember what happened because I wasn't there.
Blanche snitched on everyone, I think.
Yeah, because it was her mom who came out with her like military voice.
Yes. And we were all like, I wasn't even a part of it. I was just sitting there and I was like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they like, one of the leaders helped them.
What?
There were 3 leaders involved. One leader was Blanche's mom, who was
but she was mad.
She was
about
upset,
the whole situation,
and she was stopping everything. And then there was Arnie's dad, and then there was who they were trying to prank, and then there was another leader who was helping, and was helping with the prank because she thought it was funny. One of the students had like put like red paint or something all over his leg or whatever, and then somebody was like, he's hurt, blah blah blah. And then Arnie's dad runs outside and he's like, what's happening? And then Blanche's mom is like, yo, everybody quit. Everybody in the conference room. And so everybody had to go to the conference room, and she was like, we're not playing pranks like this on our leaders. Everyone is worried about you guys, and you're doing this, and that. And they're like, but we had a leader's help. And they're like, well, we'll have a conversation with that leader later.
I wasn't even there because I was in my room when the whole thing happened.
Oh my gosh. Oops. Oh, and this all stemmed from the fact that Arnie's dad said he would give like $20 to anyone who could catch a rabbit.
Oh my goodness, was that really?
Yes. And so that's why everybody was like, we were out trying to catch a rabbit and he fell down the hill. And you know, there was a steep hill and it went straight into the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what happened at the thing was we had 2 event days. One event day that was just students and one event day that was us with the residents.
Right.
One day we went to a creek. Another day we went to an amusement park. So
when the amusement park day was like the last day, and it was kind of like we all knew we were going, but still they were like, you have to finish all the work that we came here to do first.
And they didn't tell anyone that we were going before we went on the trip.
Right.
So that nobody would try to go just to go to the amusement park.
Yeah. So there were these water rides. One of them was like the circular raft that you all sit in, and it's like the rapids ride. They have those at like almost every amusement park. And so this one in particular, I went on it once and was wet the rest of the night. And then everybody else went on it like 2 or 3 times, like early in the day. And then they went on it again once or twice at the end of the day when it was like dark at like 10 p.m., which is when the amusement park closed. So this one girl then got in the car, and like everybody else had the air conditioning on because like they weren't wet.
Wasn't she in our car?
No, she wasn't. She wasn't,
but she was in a car with a bunch of people that didn't get on the water rides.
Right. Or she was in the car with everybody who had gone on it earlier and was like mostly dry.
Yeah.
And so she got back and she was freezing, and she had hypothermia for like a while.
She could not move.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like she had first shower and like craziness. I remember just falling asleep.
Yeah.
In like my wet clothes.
she fell asleep, and then we got back.
Tell them about the car.
The other girls, so like on the way back from the amusement park, us and the other girls, like, we were all, like, falling asleep and stuff. And, like, me and Annie were the only ones who fell asleep on the ride back.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had the best seats in the car. So I guess they were kind of mad at us or whatever.
Yeah.
And, so they blasted the music super loud.
I was sleeping on a speaker.
She was sleeping on a speaker. And so I wake up and I'm just like, oh, gosh. And then Annie wakes up and starts crying hysterically. And everybody, like, they turn down the music and they're like, Annie, are you okay? Oh my gosh, are you all right? And she's like, I'm so tired. And then she's, like, crying so hard.
When I get really tired, I cry. I cried the rest of the way to the cabin, too.
Yeah, you did.
And then I just cried until I got in bed.
Inside,
yeah.
And then got in her bunk bed. And I remember, I think I, like, patted your back or something.
Yeah. I was so done.
I was like, go to bed. I was like, go to bed.
I was so tired.
And the other girl, there was a girl who could do magic tricks who was in the room over.
Mm-hmm.
And she came in our room and just stood in the doorway. And she was like, is she okay? It was so funny.
That was one of the most tired moments I've ever had. I don't know if you were with me because I was hanging out with the Pink Girls when this happened.
Was this a camp story?
You were probably listening because you kind of liked Caden at that point in time.
I did kind of like Caden at that time.
But so Caden comes in with his friend Arnie's brother, and
he's friends with Arnie's brother, or was
he was? He's not anymore.
Oh.
But he was at that point in time. They come in like completely tired,
Was
like
it lunch
out.
Or...
No, early morning.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't even think we had breakfast yet.
Oh.
And Caden is like, this was the worst morning. And we were like, okay. And he was like, so Luke decided to get in the shower.
Oh my gosh, I remember this.
At 7 a.m. this morning. And Luke yodels in the shower. I was like rolling on the floor laughing.
Oh my gosh. And mind you, Caden isn't the most normal person either. He brought me like a canister full of grilled chicken as soon as we
No,
got
that's not Caden. That's Keegan.
That is Keegan.
I'm talking about Caden.
You're talking about... Okay.
We have code names.
We have code names.
Because we don't want to use
we
like
don't want to
actual
use anyone's
names.
actual names. Anyways, I got them mixed up. I did have a crush on Caden at that point in time.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of confused when you were like Arnie's brother.
Yeah. Okay. So
but
now
anyways, now I know. But I'm like, oh.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, also, Caden hated my guts. He hated both of our guts.
Yeah, honestly.
Low-key.
Well, I kind of,
Like-
I liked him, and I was always, like, really obvious about it and, like, really weird. Because I was in middle school, and what else do you do with your life?
And he was just
so,
like...
yeah. Yeah, so he hated me.
I was like, I hate women. Anyways. Then there's one more story. Well, there's, like, it's a little compilation of stories just about the creek. So we all go to the creek, and, like...
Oh, this was at the outing that we did with the residents.
With the residents.
Which was the day before the amusement park.
Yeah. So we all loaded up in the buses, and we ended up going to a creek. And, there were like a handful of residents who were able to come with us. Mm-hmm. And, there were two sisters.
Oh, they were hilarious.
They were so funny. One sister had a boyfriend, and
the other one was like shouting that she was a single Pringle. It was kind of funny.
Yes, it was so funny. She was like talking about how she had a crush on another resident and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the sister that had a boyfriend was taking photos on her flip phone of her sitting on the rocks. Mm-hmm. And she was texting her boyfriend, and she was like, I know you're at work, but don't I look like Ariel? It was so funny. And she was like, I'm a mermaid. It was amazing. And she was like, she made so many bad jokes. And there was one that always talked about whiskey. Or was it vodka? I can't remember.
It was whiskey.
I think he always talked about whiskey. He talked about whiskey and fishing.
Yep.
Constantly. I think it was whiskey and hunting, or whiskey and fishing, one of the two. But he was always talking about it. And all the guys thought he was so hilarious. They would go and sit with him, and he would make a bunch of jokes about alcohol. And they're like, you're so funny. Oh my gosh. They're like, oh my gosh, tell the girls that one. And he's like, the ladies shouldn't hear these kinds of jokes. It was so funny. At the creek, Caden and Heather were skipping rocks. And one of the residents goes over and he's like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're skipping rocks. You want to try it? And like, Caden gives the resin his rock, and he throws the rock and he skips it, and he's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then he goes and he's like, I'm gonna get my own rock. And they're like, okay, cool. And then he lifts up a boulder that's like this big. It's like this big. And he like picks it up and he just turns this way and chucks it. And then Heather goes, oh my gosh. And then Caden like dips to the side and he's like,
yeah, it almost killed Caden.
It almost killed him. He probably would have deserved it.
That was the second year in a row where Caden took my towel.
He took your towel?
Both years.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
He took my hairbrush at a retreat too.
There was at the creek, there was also me, Caden, curly hair, bubbly.
Yeah, we haven't come up with a name for her.
Yeah. Sibling. I was with her, and I was with Luke's sister. We were all walking up the rocks.
That's quite the combination.
Right?
Yeah, like why were y'all walking
For real?
here?
So like we were all walking like the creek has like this like staircase of rocks, and the water trickles down it. And so we're doing that, and then as I said, you know, Caden, Arnie's brother,
Luke's sister.
Luke,
Oh.
and another guy all come barreling down the staircase inside of tubes. Like, you know, the circle tubes?
Yeah.
They come barreling down in tubes, and I almost fall backwards and bust my head open on the rocks.
I was not there.
Because the rocks were slimy.
Oh, yeah, they were.
It was the time of my life. We also got banned from playing Red Rover.
Yeah, because some girl, like, sprained her wrist or something.
Yeah.
I still see her occasionally.
Really?
Yeah.
I still see the hypothermia girl occasionally. But I think those are all our stories from, like, 2017, 2018 years.
Yeah. That's a good video.
Yeah. It just
Oh,
has to have,
hold
like,
on.
major editing.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we will see you next week when we do part 2 of this video.
Yep.
Alright, bye. That only took a half an hour.